Man, your duties are getting closer and closer with the Big Ten as basketball season is inching closer and closer. Are you in preparation mode for that yet?
I'm looking forward to. We're 2 weeks and change away from Big Ten Basketball Media Day here in Indianapolis at Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
Wonderful, by the way.
Yeah, nice. It saves me a 3.5 hour drive and having to go through all the airport traffic out by O'Hare. So that's good. And it'll be nice. The Bankers Life is a fabulous building. And it was such a success to have the media day for football at Lucas Oil Stadium that it made sense to go ahead and do something similar for basketball. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's always, we didn't have one last year and I missed it because I really like the people in the Big Ten. There's so many really wonderful coaches that are such good people. Matt Painter, Chris Holtman, Greg Gard, Tom Izzo, Juwan Howard. They're all really good guys to be around. A chance to get acquainted with some of the players and hear their stories, and a chance to get together with all my friends in the media from all the markets. I've got friends in every market of the Big Ten. So I really, that's one of my favorite days of the year. So I'm really glad it's back and very much excited about the format at Bankers Life. One of the things that made the football media day successful was that for BTN's purposes, the shots of the building where the championship will be decided, certainly a step above a ballroom in a hotel.
Yes.
Nothing against hotels and ballrooms, but that visual and there is no more visually stunning arena in American basketball, in modern American basketball than Bankers Life. Of all the modern buildings, it's the most. And
they've just gone through a renovation on top of that.
Yes. I'm looking forward to seeing that as well, what it looks like. I know they've made some adjustments to that, and so I'm excited to see how it looks.
Yeah, me too.
Just don't have Mark Turgeon and Juwan Howard in tables close to each other after that tough stuff last year.
But that is, like Mike says, it's my favorite day as well, because you're literally sitting at a little round ballroom table with Tom Izzo or whomever you're talking about. You're sitting at a table with them talking, and that's the only opportunity I'm going to get for that the entire season. And it's that opportunity. That's the only time it comes, and I think that they're a little more. I'm sure I know they're guarded, but they're also a little more open at that point. It's because it's the environment. They're sitting down, they're talking to you like regular people. I think they feel a little less in coach mode at that moment or on stage mode, and it just seems like better conversation comes at those little tables.
Yeah, it's one of the nice things to see coming back after a year a year and a season, really, of trying, of challenges that were really difficult for all the teams to get through. It was obviously different for all of us in the media to interact with the people we cover. So really excited about that. Again, that's I believe it's the 7th and 8th of October, and it'll be here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Obviously, BTN will provide coverage of that on television. And people like me and Kevin will be writing and talking about it.
Why not? But, it's interesting, too. Like, you talk about how coaches are so open and stuff. And I remember when I started covering spring training 20 years ago, these spring training writers had this, everything is Disneyland, right? Everyone's 0-0. So there's always boundless optimism when you're 0-0 and, everything is just starting out fresh before the rest of the season.
Great Big Ten Media Day story. I believe it was 2013 Media Day. Matt Painter, who now enters the season as one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the Big Ten in 2022, came to Big Ten Media Day and said, basically, I screwed up. They were coming off a season in which I believe they went 5-13. I think the league was still playing 18 games at that point. They were 5-13. And he said, this is totally on me. I screwed up. This is not the way. I recruited guys who weren't Purdue guys, who didn't fit the program, who didn't fit what I wanted. I'm going back to recruiting Purdue guys. And since that day, I think they've made every NCAA tournament was contested. Obviously, 2020, there was no NCAA tournament, but I believe they've made every NCAA tournament was contested since. They've recruited the team that missed by this much, making the Final Four in 2019. They have the group now that's certainly among the favorites to win the Big Ten, and certainly going to be ranked in the preseason top 10 or top 12 of just about everybody's polls or rankings. And he did it all because he said, we got to go back to getting the guys who fit this program. And so many players like Travion Williams. Could you ask for a player who fits your program better than a Travion Williams, who could easily have just taken the road to the NBA, that second round, get picked in the second round maybe and sign a 2-way contract or whatever, and said, no, man, we got a chance to do something really special this year, and I want to be a part of it, and comes back to Purdue. That there have been many others, Carson Edwards, so many along the way in that period of time since he recommitted. And that's really important to be able to understand what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. It's the same thing Jay Wright did at Villanova. I don't know that he made the public proclamation that Matt did, but after they started to do great, he said, hey, I told my guys, you got to recruit guys that fit this program. We can't just go by the recruiting charts. They're good players, but they don't fit, and it didn't work. And they had a losing season in the early part of last decade. And of course, they've since won multiple NCAA championships. So understanding your own program, understanding what fits and what works is really important. And it's one of the things that, when teams have a year like Purdue did, and when they went 5-13, or like when Jay won 11 games at Villanova, so many people fire the coach. And sometimes it's just about recognizing you have a great coach and making sure he understands that you're on the same page and he's on the same page, that you got to go back to doing what works, because this is not working.